Imagine this. Every single person on Earth receives the same message. At exactly 12 p.m. tomorrow, everyone must jump. Not some people. Not a few countries. Every human being. All 8 billion of us. For one brief moment, nobody is touching the ground. But what would actually happen? Would the Earth shake? Would cities collapse? Could we change the planet's orbit? Or would absolutely nothing happen? Today, we're going to find out. Let's start with the numbers. The average person weighs about 62 kilograms. Multiply that by 8 billion people, and you get nearly 500 billion kilograms of human mass. That's 500 million tons. Sounds huge, right? A massive amount of weight suddenly leaving the ground. It feels like something dramatic should happen. After all, if hundreds of millions of tons suddenly jumped, surely the Earth would notice. Well, not exactly. To understand why, we need to compare ourselves to Earth. Earth weighs approximately 5.97 sextillion kilograms. That's a number so large it barely makes sense. Written out, it looks like this. 5 septillion 970 sextillion kilograms. Compared to that, humanity is tiny. In fact, all 8 billion people combined make up only a microscopic fraction of Earth's mass. It's like comparing a grain of sand to an entire mountain. So if everyone jumped at once, Earth would technically move. But only by an incredibly tiny amount. Scientists estimate the movement would be smaller than the width of a single atom. That's right. The entire human race working together couldn't even move the planet enough for anyone to measure without extremely sensitive instruments. But wait. What about when everyone lands? Wouldn't that create a giant impact? Let's think about it. Imagine thousands of people jumping at a concert. You can feel the ground shake. Now imagine millions. Or billions. Surely that would be devastating. The truth is more complicated. If everyone somehow gathered in one location and jumped together, the landing could create a powerful local vibration. Buildings nearby might experience shaking. Some structures could be damaged. But globally, the effect would still be insignificant. Earth constantly experiences earthquakes that release millions of times more energy than humanity could ever generate by jumping. Nature is simply operating on a much larger scale. In fact, every day, giant ocean waves crash into coastlines. Tectonic plates shift beneath our feet. Volcanoes erupt. Asteroids burn up in the atmosphere. Compared to these events, humanity's synchronized jump is almost nothing. But let's make the scenario even crazier. What if all 8 billion people gathered in one giant square? Everyone standing shoulder to shoulder. Would they even fit? Surprisingly, yes. If each person occupied 1 square meter, humanity would need about 8,000 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of a large city. Everyone on Earth could theoretically stand within a relatively small area compared to the size of the planet. Picture that for a moment. Every human alive standing together. Every language. Every culture. Every nation. All in one place. Then suddenly, jump. The sight alone would be incredible. But there would be another problem. Oxygen. Food. Water. Heat. The logistics would be impossible. Long before anyone jumped, survival would become the real challenge. Still, let's continue the thought experiment. What if humanity somehow managed it? Could we create an earthquake? The answer is mostly no. Earthquakes occur when enormous amounts of energy are released deep underground. Even the strongest human-generated vibrations are tiny compared to natural seismic activity. For example, a moderate earthquake releases energy equivalent to several nuclear explosions. Humanity jumping together doesn't come close. Seismographs around the world might detect the event. Scientists could probably see a small signal. But it would be nothing compared to Earth's normal activity. Now let's ask another question. Could we slow down Earth's rotation? After all, if billions of people jumped in the same direction, wouldn't that affect the planet's spin? Technically, yes. But only by an absurdly tiny amount. Physics says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When people jump eastward, Earth receives a tiny push westward. But because Earth is so massive, the effect is practically zero. The change would be so small that it would disappear instantly. It's similar to trying to move a cruise ship by blowing on it. The force exists. It's just too small to matter. What if everyone jumped from airplanes? Now we're getting ridiculous. Imagine billions of people parachuting at the same time. The total energy would be much larger. But even then, Earth wouldn't care. Remember, every second our planet is being hit by sunlight carrying enormous amounts of energy. Compared to that, humanity is still insignificant. This leads to an interesting realization. Humans often feel powerful. We've built cities. We've crossed oceans. We've reached space. We've created technology that would seem like magic to people from just a few hundred years ago. Yet when compared to the scale of our planet, we're surprisingly small. And compared to the universe? We're microscopic. The Sun alone contains 99.8% of all the mass in our solar system. A single star dwarfs everything we've ever built. And our Sun is just one star among hundreds of billions in our galaxy, which itself is only one galaxy among trillions. Suddenly, the idea of moving Earth by jumping seems almost funny. But here's the fascinating part. Even though we can't move the planet physically, humanity has changed Earth in other ways. We've altered landscapes, built massive cities, changed ecosystems, redirected rivers, and even affected the atmosphere itself. So while 8 billion people jumping wouldn't move Earth, our collective actions over centuries absolutely can reshape the world. Maybe that's the real lesson here. Individual humans are small, but together, we can create enormous change. Not through one giant jump, but through billions of small actions repeated every day. So what would happen if all 8 billion people jumped at once? The Earth would move by an amount smaller than an atom. Scientists might detect a tiny vibration. Some local shaking could occur if everyone gathered together. And then, everything would return to normal. No shifted orbit. No global earthquake. No planet-sized catastrophe. Just 8 billion people landing back where they started. A reminder that Earth is far bigger, heavier, and more powerful than we usually imagine. And maybe that's what makes our planet so incredible. Thanks for watching. And here's one final question. If humanity can't move Earth, what do you think it would actually take to do it?